Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. We have gathered a group of the lads, especially for today's show, given the aftermath of the Manchester derby and how this season has gone so far. I'm sure there's plenty of emergency meetings going on behind closed doors at Carrington, at Manchester United, but this one is going to be live in front of you lot, so we want to hear your opinions on the manager, players, INEOS, and the fucking rest. Whatever you want to talk about, get it in the comments section, and we shall react to it. I said just off stream then, lads, somehow we find ourselves here time and time again talking about the same situations, the same kind of reports coming out, players not backing the manager and systems and just a whole lot of nonsense, basically. But I want to start with the manager because he's the one in charge. He's the one under most pressure. He's the one who's, you know, kind of setting out this system and tactics, etc. I'm just going to read out a record for you. 31 games. 8 wins, 7 draws, 16 defeats, minus 13 goal difference, and a 25% win ratio. That's what we're looking at currently under Ruben Amorim. On winning 8 of his 31 Premier League games in charge, he said, it's not a record we should have in Manchester United. There's a lot of things you have no idea what's happened in these months, but I'm not going to change. If you look at the goals, we could have avoided them. That's where the biggest difference lies. We can do better, especially on the second goal. We conceded goals that we could have avoided. We'll talk about the system soon, Sam, and we'll get into all the kind of specifics with that. But what has your overall assessment been on Ruben Amorim since he's walked through the door?
If you're looking at just pure stats and matches won and all that, it's not good enough, is it? Like, if that was any other manager, he'd be gone. Like, it would be. It'd be simple as that. I think he's lasted as long as he has because INEOS have realised this is a full rebuild that he's doing. So that's part one. There's a bunch of players that need to go. There was a bunch of upstairs people that needed to be removed. The whole system needed changing. The training ground needed upgrading. The stadium talk, blah, blah, blah. All this change that they've been going on about. So that's not going to take a short amount of time. However, while you're allowed a little bit of grace period and stuff, and I think we're all in agreement, we just write off last season, don't we? Because there was so much shit going on. We just write it off because it was so bad. This season, however, he's been backed. He's got players in. I think we needed a midfielder for this specific system, and we can talk on the system later, but I think that's the only thing missing from this system. And he's not delivered in the results. We've had one good performance against Arsenal. We've scraped across the line against Fulham, scraped across the line against Burnley, got absolutely humiliated by Grimsby, and got absolutely smashed by City. That's not good. If that was Ten Hag, he would have been gone by now. But because INEOS have picked him, he's probably going to have a stay of execution for now and get more time. And those comments that he's making going, he's not going to change his system, he's essentially signing his own death warrant, isn't he? Like, if he's not going to change, he will lose his job. Like, because it will become untenable at a point where INEOS are like, well, this is not acceptable. You've lost game after game after game after game. I think I looked up a stat. He's like, he won 1 game each month, I think, over the last like 5-6 months. So if that continues, he will go. He will, like, it's inevitable.
Sorry, can you just repeat that stat? What was that stat?
Oh, from, I think it was like September last year, he won 1 game. November, he won no games. December, he won 1 game. January, he won 2. February, he won 1. March, he won 1, and April he won 1.
No, April was 0 again.
April was 0, sorry. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, basically shocking. Like a win a month nearly. That's what we were looking at. So all those points to losing his job. However, that because they picked him, it's going to go on longer than most of us probably expect it to. And it doesn't seem like he's going to change this system. And we'll get into the system later. However, he has made some weird comments and contradicted himself. So he says, I'll never change the system. However, one day I might wake up and I might change it. And I decide to change it. Which is a bit of a weird comment to make when you've been so insistent you're not changing it. Is he giving himself an out because he's thinking about changing it? So, yeah, it's a weird situation. But I'm sure everybody, if you just looked at those stats, he'd be gone, wouldn't he? Like, he would be.
Has it surprised you how badly it's gone, Chivy, since Amorim walking through the door? We obviously knew there'd be a bit of a period where it'd be a little bit rocky, right? But after all the optimism of the, you know, whatever you want to call it in pre-season, that, you know, everything's done now, he's got time to work with the players, yada, 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 all the usual kind of shit. It's almost stayed the same, hasn't it, really?
You mean like this season?
Yeah, so it's like just the ups and downs of like not being able to trust this team in general. It just feels like when you see a glimmer of something, you get knocked back down straight away.
Well, yeah, for most people, but for me, it was kind of like I don't even know how to explain this or to answer that question, but I'm not really surprised with the way it's gone. We kind of expected this somehow, right? Because we have like the worst start, well, the most difficult start of the season, playing like Arsenal and the rest of them. And I don't know, I'm not really up in uproar the way everyone else is, you know, because this was me last season. So seeing you guys do all this stuff now, it's just like, yeah, well, okay. I mean, I'd already seen this, you know, I'd lost, you guys saw me last season. I'd lost complete hope in this whole style of play the whole of last season. And it's even funny because we're actually playing better now in the system. And you know, which makes me think, what were you guys seeing last season, where he was getting support from the fans last season, and then now we're playing better and people are up in uproar. So I don't really get it. I'm really confused about this entire situation right now. I'm confused. I'm conflicted. But at the same time, I'm just kind of calm because I've accepted it for what it is. I accepted it at the end of last season when we found out he was going to stay and they were going to back him. I accepted it and it is where it is right now. As far as it going really bad, it doesn't feel like disaster for me because even when we were 3-0 down yesterday, I was still impressed with how we were getting the ball forward. I was still impressed with how it wasn't like it was dominant as far as the scoreline and all that kind of stuff. But then it wasn't like a complete, like last season, how we were just being swept left, right, and center. If you look at the stats of the game, we had similar shots, we had more touches in the opposition box. So it's a far cry from last season as far as the way we play. So there is a glimmer of hope there, but I'm just really, my mind is just all over the place now. Like I'm actually finally seeing an improvement, and I think yesterday's defeat was just, it's one of them ones where I think I'll be crazy. I'll probably lose my mind if we then, after the Chelsea game and the game after the Chelsea game, then if I don't see any real improvements, then that's probably when I'll go crazy. But for now, it's just like everything everyone is saying now. It's just like I'm wondering, like, what were you guys seeing all along? Like, what
But it's
did you think?
situational, isn't it? It's situational. Like last season, he'd come in mid-season, so people knew it was going to be a shit show. It was kind of like we expected it almost when it was happening. It was like, it's shit. We'll wait for pre-season until he works with players. We'll wait until he brings in the players that he wanted. I didn't think he'd neglect a pivotal area of the pitch to spend a shitload of money in certain positions like Mbeumo, for example, where you've already got Ahmad, who's playing it extremely well. I love Mbeumo, by the way. I think he's been like one of the best signings we've done in a bit. But to bring him in and spend that amount of money there, 70 million plus wages or whatever, when you've got Ahmad there and Ahmad's being pushed back. I mean, again, we'll get onto systems and stuff later on because I think that's all a big part of it. But it's situational for me. Last season, I was already in a rut. So it was like, right, let's just ride this rut out and then we'll see next season. But then it just doesn't feel like anything's changed. It still feels like the same disappointment to me. It's a little bit of an improvement, but they're not winning games.
Yeah, but it's never going to. Yeah, but then I get what you mean. But for me, it was just never going to change. It's the same system. It doesn't matter who plays. And I've said this so many times. I'm sure you guys are tired of me saying it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who plays in what position. I even used the analogy. I said, if you bring Thanos in with the Infinity, nothing is going to. It doesn't matter who plays. It's the same system. So when people talk about, oh, we should have bought a midfielder, it wouldn't matter. He will come and drown in the system. So it was like, my mind is all over the place, really. As far as the manager, like, just to quickly summarize what I'm trying to say, really, if I can, put in a straight sort of cohesive sentence. I'm not as outraged as everyone because I think I was already outraged months ago, and now it's just kind of like, okay, well, it is what it is right now. So I'm just watching everyone go crazy when
Well,
It's just
there was reports after the game yesterday, Aaron, that despite the growing discontent among a fractured Man United fan base, Ruben Amorim and INEOS officials believe they have been unfortunate in key moments this season. What's your reaction to that?
Bullshit. Yeah, bullshit, man. You create. I've always thought, like, just in life, in anything, you create your own luck. So when people moan about like referees didn't get decisions go our way, like, I've never really had time for that, because it's like, what were you doing for the rest of the game? I don't know. I just think it's excuses again. Like, it's like Sam said in the chat before, it's getting like Ten Hag levels for me. It's just getting it's embarrassing, man. It's like I agree with Chivy, to be honest. Like, you can go back and check. Like, I wanted him gone after the end of last season.
Yeah.
I wanted him out, because I know he came in and he was up against it, but I've always believed you got to get the best out of what you've got, and we just haven't got the best. Like, there was no new manager bounce or anything. Like, I just don't understand when fans are saying he needs more time. What has he shown you to give more time? That's my only argument. Like, if you see something, then yeah, but there's been nothing. Like Nick said there before, we've been glimmers, but what's that been, like a good 25 minutes in a game? Because I can't remember like games where we really played well. I mean, you might correct me, but even back to last season, I can't think of any games where we were like, everything was like a smash and grab, or it was like a good 25. Like, even when we beat City last season, it was done in the last 10 minutes of the game, the last 5 minutes of the game.
Even the Europa League moments, all the goals are last minute.
All smash and grab. It was never like a masterclass, or like we played anyone off the park. Like, and I don't know. For me, INEOS, there's a saying, isn't there, like something like fucking. I can't think, like when it's, I don't know how to articulate it, like no action is worse than something like
inaction.
Kind of a thing. Inaction is worse, than worse than doing something. Like, not doing anything at all is worse than doing something, and that's exactly how I feel like INEOS operate. They wait and wait and wait. Like, what are you waiting for? I don't understand where they think it's going to get better, because like Chivy said about the system. Obviously, we'll get into the system, but even one midfielder is not enough for me. The way you're playing with two midfielders in the Prem, you would need two like class midfielders, because everyone else plays like three or whatever. So you're already outnumbered anyway. So even if we brought in a Belieber, it wouldn't have been enough, because we would have had him and probably someone else. The amount of ground that them two midfielders are going to have to cover. It's like, you're done for already.
I think that, for me, I remember watching a video on this. I can't remember who it was who'd done it. And they did it on, like, because Crystal Palace play a similar setup to us, and they have obviously Wharton and, is it Hughes, or who's the other player that plays in there as well? Is it Lerma, Jefferson Lerma, right in the middle of the park? Like, they play a very similar thing, but they have one in Lerma or Hughes who will sit and protect. With us, it seems like Ugarte and Bruno are constantly jumping to try get the press, and they're just getting bypassed a lot of the time. Like, those little pockets, Iwobi's dropping in there, Foden's dropping in there, and teams are just picking us off time and time again. So the fact that, and I'll throw this to you, Sam, because Ruben Amorim came out after the game, he said the problem isn't the system. You saw Man United play with a different system. Most of the time it was a 4-3-3, and it was more or less the same result. I'll try to do my best according to my vision of the game. I don't see the system like you do, so I'll try to do my job. But Harrison from the Overlap did a really good breakdown of this morning as well. He said, if your system is to have wing-backs higher than your most creative player in the Premier League, then it is completely flawed. Meaning Dorgu basically was getting the majority of the ball against Manchester City. In your mind, does this system almost expose more weaknesses than even Ten Hag's did at times?
Yeah, like this, I agree with what Chivy said, and I disagree with him, like in the same vein. And what I mean is, I think this system can work. However, you have to get the exact perfect profile in each key position to make it work, and that's something he did at Sporting.
With it.
No, And that's what he did at Sporting. And I think at Sporting in the Portuguese league, you can get away with a lot that you can't in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I think you get exposed in the Premier League for little tiny things. Like we've seen it. How many times have we had a game cost us for one tiny little mistake and we've lost the game? Because the Premier League just kills you. Any little mistake, the Premier League will annihilate you. It's done. Over. So you have to be perfect. And I just don't think, like, people were using the excuse, Cunha and Mount, they realise that if you lose 2 players from your team, you still should be able to win games with the team that we had. There's enough quality players in there.
And
so,
the City team. It's not even the best.
Yeah, the City teams is not even that good either. So I think Harrison's right. Like, if your system relies on this perfection, when you're not always going to have perfection, you're always going to have injuries, you're always going to have things that go wrong or players not having a good day. So you need to find ways of hiding your weaknesses and enhancing your strengths.
Yep.
Playing Bruno in the 8 is not enhancing your strength of Bruno. It's exposing his weakness. What is he not good at? Tracking his runners, being disciplined in the defensive positions. And that's what he's expected to do in that 8. What is he good at? Going forward, shooting, making passes, going forward, risky passes in the final third and creating. He's not going to do that in the 8. He needs to be in the 10. So you're playing him out of position already. You're playing Ahmad, who's one of your most advanced creative forwards, and you play him in a wing-back position because, like you said, Nick, you brought in Brian and Mbumo, so you displaced him. You've then got Dorgu, who's a 20-year-old from Lecce, who's had 2 professional seasons in the Serie A, and you expected him to be your entire creative wing-back outlet at 20 years old in his second season in the Premier League. Like, it's ridiculous. So if you can't have that system working with players and players rotation and dropping in, dropping out, and it has to be perfect, you have to tweak it and you have to change it for the players you've got. And you look at our midfield, Kobe, Cass, and Bruno. That's a fantastic midfield 3, is it not? Like, that is a really good midfield 3.
It depends because even because we was playing a 4-3-3 under Ten Hag with Casemiro, Mainu, and Bruno, and that wasn't working. So it's kind of like
that didn't work in the second season. If we had played with the way he was playing in the first season, that would have been perfect. But then when he switched it in the second season, that's when
But that's the players that we're dealing with now, innit? It's my point.
And you've got Mason Mount as well, who's I think been one of our best players so far. You could put him in there as well; he'd work equally as well. So you've got players who could play that position, could come in, coming out, and then you've got perfect forwards like Cunha's played left of a 3. Wolves, Ahmad could play on the right, and Mbumo could play on the right. Bruno could play one of those. And then the other thing is Bruno has to be able to be dropped because it just seems like he's going to play every single game regardless of his performance. Like, it doesn't matter.
That pisses me off, that, with Bruno.
Like, Kobe Mainu will put in a decent cameo, and yet the next one he won't start, but Bruno will drop a stinker and he'll continue to play.
It annoys the life out of me.
And that's what's going to kill him off, is adhesion to this system and not willing to change anything and forcing players into positions just because he wants them on the pitch. That's what will kill him off, and that's why the system don't work. And he, like you said, he's never going to change it. So it's just a matter of time of when does he get sacked. That's what it is now.
Yeah, especially given his stubbornness, what we're seeing at the minute. And these are multi-layered as well, Chivy, in terms of like the system, the weaknesses throughout it. I mean, I was making a couple of notes before. We have a player in Brian Mbumo who's one of the best crossers of the ball, and he had the most crosses last season for Brentford, and he's good off typically off set pieces, even though Bruno's still taking some of them. And a 6'5" striker who's got a fucking leap like LeBron, and they're not putting no balls. Sesko didn't even have any touches in the box yesterday. People were giving me shit about his performance or whatever. Like, the guy didn't get a touch in the box. He didn't get no service at all. And then, obviously, the 2 midfielders are a big part of that, who are not good enough in the role to suit it. Like, you can go throughout the full thing and just say, it's clearly not working. So, as a manager, logically, apart from ego and stubbornness, why would you not change? Because all the evidence is there in front of you. I can't think of any logic.
Yeah, I mean, many months ago, I had the same question to you guys. I don't remember how we ended the discussion, but I was like, it's one of 2 things. It's either he doesn't know anything else apart from this system, or he's just too stubborn to change it, because it can't be anything other than the 2. It's either, he's just not competent enough to be able to adapt, or his ego won't let him adapt. But like So, for example, let's just start with the first example you mentioned there about Mbeumo and crossing the ball in. I'm actually happy he didn't cross the ball in, because whenever you watch, when he has the ball and we're progressing with the ball, it's Sesko and like at least 3 defenders around him. There's no way
that's where
he's
you
going to
crash the box, right? That's where you
Yeah.
should be, crash the box with
But
numbers.
this is the problem with the way we play. Every time me and Shreyas have been saying this for ages. It's like this, whenever we're progressing with the ball, we don't have enough bodies in attack. We're always outnumbered. Always. So even if you cross the ball, like, you know, if the few times when the ball was floated in, City were dealing, we could have played the game for another 24 hours.
I mean, Haaland was heading most of them out, weren't they?
Yeah, they were heading everything out. So it's like nothing was going to happen there, you know? I don't think Sesko is the right profile for the way we play, to be honest. I honestly don't think he's the right profile. I think we need someone else who can come in and connect, you know, who drops deep and allow the 2-10s to move forward. But, you know, that's just
like a Harry
thing.
Kane, you mean, who drops in and plays
Kane,
those kind of passes.
Xerxes, Tiki, whatever his name, and the guy at Newcastle now. That guy's going to be a baller.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bro,
that's
talk about Walter for a while. Good player.
That's the type of striker that we need. Someone who drops deep, who can claim the ball, put players in and all that. No. I mean, Sesko is going to start. It's the same profile as Højlund. And I could kind of, you know. But anyway, I'm also going to agree with Sam as well, as far as like the system needs like perfect players. And Bruno and Cass are the only midfield pairing that can play the system, unfortunately. That anything other than Bruno and Cass is where we've seen everything fall apart.
And even that's flawed.
Yeah, and even that's flawed. But then even when Cass came on, you could see Bruno pushed up a bit and Cass was able to flip the ball. He was stringing in passes and all that. So he adds that creativity in the midfield. He allows Bruno to go, and then he can then, you know, float balls in spot runs and stuff like that. It's Bruno and Cass or nothing. Because anything else, if it's Cass and Ugarte or Cass and Meno, Bruno and Meno, anything else doesn't work. Any other pairing does not work. And I think when we play Chelsea next, that's what it's going to be. And then we'll see like a much better performance. But that's not sustainable. It's not. It might be good for a game or 2 games, but it's not sustainable. And I'm just curious at what is going to happen. Like, because I don't see anyone else that we can get. I think INEOS would want to go for like a Premier League manager, but we're not going to be able to get anyone from any other club mid-season. So I'm kind of curious as to what. Yeah, I think he's going to stay. I think he will stay. I think he'll have a few wins out, you know, buy him time, but he will stay at least to the end of the season.
But even when you talk about the system from a defensive point of view, Aaron, you think about Tuchel when he first went in Chelsea, made him solid, like so hard to beat, keeping clean sheets consistently. Inzaghi into Milan, obviously in the final, they looked aged and weathered, but they had a pretty decent defensive record, winning leagues and stuff. Even us, when you have 5 defenders at times, and I know teams kind of tweak between 5-4-1s and stuff, but we've got 5 defenders on the pitch. You've got Yoro, Shaw, De Ligt, Dorgu, and Ahmad, even though he's a wing back, but you know what I'm saying. And it still feels like we're very easy, just one moment in the game, and you could just cut through him. And I look at the 3rd goal that City scored yesterday, and the 2 players who were a big part of it was Shaw and Maguire again. And I know Maguire only just came on, but it's like the same things are happening again, and it's like I don't even know what the question is. I'm just frustrated with how shit defensively we are. It's just annoying.
I do agree, and it's like, you know, I remember watching a game years ago. I can't remember if he was talking about United or if he was talking about another team, but I remember watching a game and Gary Neville was absolutely like going off on one. I don't know if it was about United. And he was saying to whoever he was on commentary with, he was like, you know, you get the baseline of a team. If you can't do anything else, you make sure that you're hard to break down. He said that is the easiest thing you can do, even if you throw everyone behind the ball. He said, and you build up from there. And we just the same again, like through last season and that, you know, 1 or 2 passes and there's no shape to the team. We're gone. You don't know where everyone is, and it's just like you're chasing shadows then. And as far as Luke Shaw, Maguire, I mean, players that, well, I'm talking Maguire, you go back 12, 18 months that wasn't fit for purpose, we're still going with these players. Luke Shaw, like Roy Keane was perfect when he said, he's been getting away with it for years. He has. And Luke Shaw at the front to say at the start of the season, there's no more players that can get away with it, that can hide in this team anymore. You're one of them, mate. You've made a career of it. And you have to cheat to stand there and say, there's no passengers in this team. It's
he was a passenger for that third goal, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's been a passenger for the past whatever years.
I don't understand why we've been ruthless with certain players and other players we've just allowed to stay here. Like Luke Shaw, I like Luke Shaw, I do, but I've been saying it for the last 2 seasons. He had to go. He had to go. He's still here. Mason Mount, me and Chivy have had this conversation many times. Dude needs to go. Can't stay fit. He's not. He's already injured. Before games of the season, he's already injured. He has to go. Why are we not being ruthless with any of these players? Maguire, we could have cashed in on him. He had a great season. Didn't he? Really, really well. Cash in on him. He's at his highest point value. Cash in on him. And we've kept some of these players still here.
Do you know what the killer thing is about it? Because all those players you've just mentioned are probably the most experienced players in the team.
I know, but they're not good enough.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you're just taking all your experience out your team then, and it's like...
But what are they experienced in losing? Right.
No, but I'm saying they look to a certain... Whether you think they're not good enough or whatever it is, people can still have an influence in the dressing room, whether they're shit or not.
Yeah.
I guarantee Casemiro will still be having a massive influence on the dressing room. Luke Shaw's playing in finals for England and stuff. They're still there and can guide you through certain things, but obviously their body when they're playing is,
Yeah, I'm still all for Harry Maguire. I think he redeemed himself. I think he's played. I mean, it's just unfortunate that the system we play just exposes a lot of these players, and then and it exposes their weaknesses. So, for example, when I saw Harry Maguire trying to catch Erling Haaland yesterday,
oh my god!
Oh mate!
Why did he? Do you know that Nigerian meme, Chivy? Why are you running?
Why are you running?
That's literally. I was like, why is he even bothering?
Just give up, mate. Save your hamstrings.
He was really trying. He was really trying to catch it. But then when the system puts you we're pressing so high. I mean, pushing up so high, and he got the But Maguire, I was one of his biggest critics, but then I found myself being one of his biggest supporters at the moment because, like Nick said, the experience that he gives us is invaluable, I think. And I think under a competent manager, I think he'll be brilliant, honestly. I think he'll be really good. I mean, there were moments last season where his class came through. And, obviously he's not the sexy name, he's not, the cool sort of dude, but I think
I think Harry Maguire is very sexy, actually.
Do you like a big head? A massive fucking head.
Yeah.
This system just makes everyone else, look just terrible, at times. So.
Are there any positives that we see from the system? Can we try and pick one out that we see?
Nah.
Guys,
I'll leave it to these two then.
No, remember yesterday we won the ball back a few times, a number of times in the opposition half. And I think what happened was whenever we got to the final third, it was always a wrong decision, or we just failed to create any
quality in the final third.
Just so many times Doug will get the ball. Sometimes you can cut back, but he would always cross, and then there's loads of people in there. I saw a lot of positives yesterday. We had the ball a lot, and we moved it past their midfield a lot. I don't know if that's because it's a poor City team, or
But it was in the unimportant moments when we was doing that.
Yes, I completely. Yeah, I'm not again. I'm not trying to defend the system. I'm just going by what I saw. Yeah, all I'm doing is just going by what I saw yesterday, especially in comparison to what we saw last season, when Brentford and the rest of them people were just we had no clue. Yeah. We had more touches in their box than they did of ours yesterday. We had a similar amount of shots. They just had more on target. Nick, are you laughing at me?
Yeah. I was trying to stop myself, but I thought you were going to say the famous word pause, but you didn't do it. So
yeah,
I don't pause anymore, guys. I really don't.
Just got to go for it, ain't you? You just got to go for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know. No, can I give you a very quick segue into why I don't pause?
go for it.
Because first it was fun and games. And pause. I watched Cam and Mace the show, and they always pause, and I found it funny. And then all of a sudden, it starts to get into my everyday language.
Yeah, in your psyche.
Yeah,
a little bit, innit?
and then you're at work, and then having meetings, and then you're going, that's a pause.
Yeah.
And then you guys, and
then once you say it, it becomes a ripple effect, and everyone else starts thinking it. And then,
but the funniest one was the funniest one was, you guys know I'm a Christian. Like I'm very open about my faith, and we're in church in silent prayer, and the pastor's leading. This is after the sermon, and he's leading the final prayer. And everyone's closed their eyes. He was like, "Let the Holy Spirit fill you up." Hey, yo.
Jimmy, when you looked up, was there anybody else looking around?
No.
Was there anybody else going?
At that point, I was like, "Nah, come on, I'm a grown-up.
You're going to hell.
I'm
pausing. You're going to hell, Jimmy. You're going to hell, Jimmy.
The pastor.
Yeah.
Can I pause the Bible?
I would have done the same. I would have done the exact same.
Nick has no self-control. When there's a funny thing, he has nothing.
You know what?
There's just nothing to stop.
I remember being at a funeral last year, right? And it was like, when they do the 1 minute thing where it's like, okay, let's just, give them your thoughts and stuff. Someone had the audacity to fart on the bench, right?
Nice.
And it was, I swear to God, the loudest thing you've ever heard. And they didn't even acknowledge it. They just did it. And everyone kept a straight face, and I'm fucking dying at the back, absolutely dying at the back, like just struggling to contain myself. And I'm thinking, how is everyone so normal after that? Like off a church bench when it's echoing, like perfect ambience to reach the back of the fucking thing. I don't know, man. I don't know how we got here.
That's probably an old person that couldn't hold it.
Probably. Yeah. I'm not quite sure how to segue from that, to be honest with you, but. I was going to speak about farts. Let's talk about the goalkeeper. There you go. We could do that. We're not mentioned him yet. You look at the performance that Donnarumma had for Man City yesterday. That save that he made from Mbeumo, by the way, was fucking outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. And then you look at Bayern Day, and I know Le Mans is going to come in at some point. Would you then question that, Aaron, saying, if a keeper of that ability was there, you look at the shaky moment that he had yesterday where it's nearly like, I can't remember what happened, I just remember him nearly fucking up and then nearly getting the ball and scoring.
He got passed back, didn't he? There's a pass back. He took control of it, and then he just got pressed, and then he fell over, and the ball ended up,
Yeah.
No, he took a heavy touch. And then Erling Haaland was like,
shocking. But that's another problem systematically in it, having someone like that who, it might have some things that he's good at, but for the majority of games, he seems really nervy and shaky. And you look at why have we not brought in an experienced keeper, I suppose, is the question. Would you have gone that route, or are you happy with Le Mans?
Mate, I just thrown everything at Donnarumma. Why we didn't go for that? Them opportunities come up like once in whatever.
I agree. Totally agree. And
I don't care about budgets or bullshit about other stuff like that. You've got to do it. You've got to go for it. Like, look at us now. Look at there was a clear gulfing goalkeepers yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that bugs me about AMORIM. You buy a player. Sesko was another example. You buy a player. I don't care about this. They need a game or they need whatever. Throw him in. Sometimes you have to take a gamble. I feel like football now, management has got so far away from taking risks, taking gambles. It's all about, my philosophy, and if it done, I'll die on this hill. But it's like, you need to take a risk. Like, look at Newcastle. They threw that young striker in, what's he called? The German one. And he scores a goal. You know what I mean? Like,
It's not a gamble, is it? If we pay 70 million for a striker, it's not a gamble, is it? Like, you pay 70 million, like, he should be good to go. Like,
that's my point exactly. Like, you have faith in that player. So what do they need? It's not like they've never played a game before. He scored 20 goals last season. What are you waiting for? I'm just going off on a tangent here. I don't know I can't remember what you asked
for, mate. But the goalkeeper, then you start speaking about the striker.
Honestly. But yeah, for me, if you've bought a new goalkeeper and you've sent your number one out on loan, he should have been in straight away. He should have played yesterday for me. Because then you've got this thing now of like, when does it make it look as if Bayern Day has been dropped? You know what I mean? And that ain't going to do great for morale as much as he's a shit keeper. You know what I mean? We might need him. Yeah, I would have just gone in. You have to have like conviction. That's what I think he lacks. You have to have like courage in your convictions, man. Just if that's your goalkeeper, that's who you want. Get him straight in. Because what are you waiting for?
Yeah. The Donnarumma one was a weird one with me, but again, that falls back to Wilcox as well, and Ratcliffe and INEOS in general. Sam, like, where do they come into this? Because ultimately, they was put in control to improve things on the pitch. AMORIM is their man, and he's going to end up damaging their reputation. He's the one who they went for. They was like, this is the guy. I mean, they're talking about 2028 winning Premier Leagues and stuff like that. They couldn't be fucking further away. Genuinely, I wouldn't be surprised right now if we didn't win one for another 10 years. Easily.
No, it's not happening in 2028. Like, not a chance. Yeah, that as I said at the beginning of the show, he's going to get more time because he is their guy and because they picked him. So he's going to get more time because you saw with Ten Hag, they reluctantly extended him for a year, didn't they? Like, they didn't really want to, because obviously we now know that they went to AMORIM in the summer and he didn't want to come till this year. So that's why they extended Ten Hag. Didn't he have a conversation with Thomas Frank and other people as well? I'm sure they did. They had conversations.
They spoke to Tuchel, but I think they didn't get an agreement.
He'd already gone to England at that point, hadn't he? In July,
no, he hadn't.
So.
He hadn't.
No, he signed. No, he revealed when he said, I think he said he signed in July, so he'd already gone. But they just hadn't announced it. Agreed. Yeah. Yeah. So obviously they were like, oh, we'll just extend him for a year. And then within, how many games was it? 6 games? And they sacked him, Ten Hag. Like, we're 5-6 games in now to Ruben Amorim, and it's not any better. If anything, it might be a bit worse.
It's definitely worse.
So it's their guy, so he's going to get more time. So yeah, when they do sack him, if they do sack him, it is going to look bad on them, because it's like, you picked this guy, you sacked Ten Hag, you backed this guy with his system, picked him out. You knew he was a system manager before you got him. This was not like a mystery where he brought him in. It's he's got a system. Like, you knew you're going to have to buy players to make this system work in a financial position where we don't have a lot of money and we've fucked it up the wall the last couple of years. You knew you had to do that. So if it doesn't work and the risk don't pay off, it's on you. Like, it's on them. I think the recruitment they've done is quite good. Like, I think the players we bought are good players. Like Aaron said, I think
on that, on the recruitment, I keep going back and forth. I'm like,
yeah. I think Aaron's right. Like, I think there were market opportunities that we should have gone in for, like Donnarumma and a few others. So I think we've missed out there. And I still think there's some mistakes to be ironed out in terms of deals and all that sort of stuff. But hopefully that comes with time. But yeah, it's going to be a big mark against them if and when they do sack him. And then who do you turn to? Because if they go for another manager, the faith of the fans is not going to be there anymore, is it? Because they're like, well, you sacked Ten Hag, you went for Amorim, it didn't work, you sacked him, you sacked Dan Ashworth within months. Now you've gone for another manager who plays a different style or plays a different thing. How long is he going to last? Is he going to be given 2 months? 2 months? What? How long is he going to get?
They did
are you
the
saying
same
they
thing.
should sack him or they shouldn't sack him?
No, I'm saying they will sack him eventually, because he's not going to change his system, is he? Like, he's not going to.
Stick with him for a bit, is what you're
but
saying.
they're going to stick with him longer than they would any other manager, because they picked him. They handpicked him to bring in. So it's like.
Don't you think it's because we don't have any real options right now?
Well, that's a part of it as well. I'm sure that's a big part of it.
Because remember, they picked Dan Ashworth and they sacked him in God knows how long. Like,
but I think it's easier to sack a director of football than it is to sack a manager, isn't it? Because
yeah. But I don't think they're here to hang about. I honestly think that if it's all about, because for them, like, it's limited time as far as like we need to start making money, and I don't think they're going to hang about with this guy if there's a viable option elsewhere. And I think that the only reason why he will stay longer is because, there's no real, we don't have any, ready option to come in and challenge. And also, sorry, Aaron.
Would you not say Nuno is a viable option then? That is ready to go?
Not long term. He would do a lot better than him, than Amorim, 100%. But then you have to think of the long term.
Like,
Yeah,
that's the thing.
He'll just be a quick fix, and then we'll sack him and then get someone else, and then we'll be back to square one.
Sometimes,
I
though,
think
you need a
it's
quick
good.
fix.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you do, but can I just say, like, and you know, this might be a little bit like controversial, but do the fans bear some sort of accountability for all of this somehow? Because when Ten Hag won the whatever cup it was we won that
FA
time,
Cup.
yeah,
Whatever
and
cup it was.
yeah, I don't know what it was, and there was like there was fan polls. They wrote an official letter to the Glazers to keep Ten Hag. The Athletic were all, you know, I think they wrote some. I remember one of the guys at Athletic met Ten Hag and showed him a poll and said, "Hey, this, you know, everyone likes it." And Ten Hag was
And he's
smiling.
like, oh, I'm doing a great job. Fucking hell,
Yeah,
I'll
he
stay
was
on for 10
like,
years.
Yeah. So like this, all this kind of stuff. Somehow, I mean, the board can't just ignore the fans' requests. I mean, to a certain extent, they can, but I'm sure they will try to placate the fans, because at that point, if they sack Ten Hag and hire someone else, and he's a failure, then it's just he won the league, or he won the whatever cup it was, and you should have kept him and all that kind of stuff. So, and then just to hear the way fans are turning on them now, it's like, surely you should have some responsibility, at least bear some accountability, because there were a lot of fans that were really, really happy with Ten Hag and excited that his contract was extended. And then all of a sudden now, INEOS has made a mistake by extending Ten Hag's contract, but you were celebrated. So
But
why is it a
that's
problem
where
now?
well, that's where you need a solid figure in there to guide you through, because there's a
I
reason
know,
why
I get that. I get
fans
that.
don't
You
make
need to remove.
transfers.
You need to remove emotion from it. The people upstairs need to take emotion out of it.
That's true. I completely agree with that. But the fans have to bear some accountability for that as well. They have to take that responsibility, and I don't hear any of that.
Listen, I've said multiple times on here, like, the amount of time football's so fickle. You could be loving one player. Mamu Lugarte had a period last season where he played at Anfield, and you're like, fucking hell, like, he looks a serious player, though, the way he was playing. You know, a few months pass, and you're like, this guy's dog shit. Like, he's just not improving. That's how quickly football can change. You never, genuinely, right now, you never know. Ruben Amorim, in 3-4 months' time, could be 6th, 7th in the league.
Well,
you can never, ever predict football.
We've had that with, remember when Ange Postecoglou came to Spurs and he was playing this style and this system, and everyone's like, oh my God, this is amazing. They're so exciting. They're like, this is the new brand of
near
football.
The top of the league as well.
Near the top of the league, like all this fantastic stuff. He fell off a little bit, and everyone's like, no, it's all right. It's first season, blah, blah. Second season, he finishes lower than us in the league, has one of the worst seasons in Spurs history, but manages to win a trophy. And he's sacked. And now he's got a new job at Forest. Like, that's how quickly it can change. Within the season, you can go from hero to absolute, like, nothing, 0. And the fans hate you. Like, it can go either way. So that's the nature of football.
I suppose the stark thing I could say, Aaron, is factually, we was performing better under the Glazers with Woodward in charge. And that's not me saying by any stretch of the imagination the Glazers were better. And obviously there wasn't. I do the clip, so I'm not fucking clipping
Nick's
that.
a Glazer sympathiser.
Yeah, but you take my point. Like, factually, we was higher up. We was getting Europe every year, and they were shocking owners. So for INEOS, they have to take some accountability as well, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm not saying it was better either, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. That's what I mean. Like, for me, I don't know why they're in an uproar of like why we're holding on to him. Like, you know, fans do have an influence. I mean, if United fans got on it that heavy that year, we want him gone, they would act.
Do you know what I think it is, Aaron? I think it's United fans are almost scared. We've sacked that many managers. They just don't want to go through the thing again. And again, that's why fans are emotional and they shouldn't be involved in decisions. But for me, I can't be asked with another run around of PR spin of this manager's going to be great now.
And then wiping another season off again every year. Just after finish another season fucked off.
But it could be worse staying with him as well. Yeah.
That's what I mean. But also, you keep him in charge, or you're not wiping another season away. So it's like,
yeah.
And do you know what does my head in now? Like, I'm going to start going off on a tangent again. But do you know when they say about, I keep seeing it on Twitter, we can't sack another manager. When is it going to be the players? When is it going to be the players' fault? We know some of the players aren't good enough. We know that. We're not saying that. Like, no one's ever said that, these players are fucking going to win the league under another manager. But you can definitely get more out of them than what we're getting now. And there's no way that team last season should have finished 15th. I don't care what anyone says about, they weren't good enough, to whatever. Them players playing for another team, another squad in another system, you would get something out of them. You would. Majority of them.
We finished 15th because of Van Nistelrooy. I think if AMORIM came straight in, we probably would have been lower than that. And I think that period when Nistelrooy was there, it's kind of just helped us.
Don't forget the teams that he played though as well. Leicester and PAOK. Like, they're not. You know what I mean?
Would we have beat them now under AMORIM though?
I don't know. We beat Burnley.
Burnley. we also had 3 teams who were worse than us. Luckily, like Southampton were.
I think that was literally it. That was literally all saved.
If you had any sort of team for the Championship that came up and actually played well, we might have been in trouble. But because Southampton were absolutely awful, we managed to get away with it.
Thanks, Southampton. I want to get on to Mainu and Bruno just to kind of the last part of the show, but there's quite a few comments, so I don't want to ignore people because I asked for opinions and then I've just not read any comments out. So, yeah. Ray saying, AMORIM said yesterday he's suffering more than the fans. The audacity of this man who was our worst since the Second World War. I'm 95% done with him. Win versus Chelsea or go. That's factually correct, though. That is legit, factually correct. The worst manager since World War II, which is fucking crazy, isn't it?
I was the Blitz chivvy, when it was going on and stuff. It was an intense time.
In his pump, his 18, drinking lager out of a cup and all that. Unfortunate in key moments is just BS, and that only applies to Arsenal, which was 1 month ago. AMORIM lives off that performance, and we haven't replicated 50% of it since. Yeah, it's like, when Ten Hag would do a presser and he mentioned trophies, AMORIM just mentions 90 minutes against Arsenal where the team played better but lost.
How long was he mentioning that Garnacho chance for, Ten Hag? Do you remember that? That went on for about 6 months.
So embarrassing.
I was like, Eric, mate, let it go. Just fucking let it go, man.
Clear. Shakur saying, hi, guys. Hope you're all well. I think we need a better manager. Quite simply put. Thank you. If Bruno's undroppable, just play him at left wing back at this point. Sesko will get a better service. Jordy in the chat saying, hi lads, if you change the manager again and again, it's not going to help rebuild the team. Pat May saying, Arnie Slot took Kirkez off in the first half. He had a yellow card and was getting around and around. We had Shaw playing like a Sunday League player, really poor, and he stays on. Say no more.
That annoyed me when he took Lenny Yotto off and Shaw stayed on. That fucked me off so much. Like, I was so angry at that.
Yeah, this manager, his changes sometimes are just ridiculous.
Oh, it's awful. Some of them are worse than
unexplainable.
Yeah, the centre backs. Oh, I thought you were about AMORIM.
AMORIM. Every game he's put centre backs. Why? Why are we changing centre backs? What are we doing?
For the last game against Arsenal, and then he brings on Eden Heaven and someone else to like another defender. Come on, like
fucking bizarre, strange situation. The name Southgate scares the life out of me. Please don't.
No.
Ray is saying, Chive, ask the church to inject AMORIM with the light to play a back four. To play a back four, he said. Use the power of prayer to save the club. I don't think anything can save the club at this point, to be honest with you.
I think God's a Liverpool fan because the amount of luck they are getting in every single game is astonishing.
Yesterday.
Oh yeah. It's 0-0. I'm like, they're gonna score. They will score. Yeah. And then Hannibal Medjbri, I'll just stick my hand out here and just like, for fuck's sake, mate.
He's only ever known. He is the player to get known for a yellow card. That's his whole career. That's all he'll ever be known for. Do you remember when he kicked Henderson? Do you remember when he handballed it against Liverpool? That's it. That's his legacy as a player.
He just comes on to rough guys up, doesn't he?
He literally does. He's like in Slipknot, they've got the clown who just dances about.
He just legs it about with a baseball bat, hitting people.
Yeah, just get on the pitch and go mad.
You know what's crazy? When he was 15, he was the brightest prospect to come out of France.
Yeah.
He was.
We pay a lot of money for him. We paid like a lot of money.
We fought PSG. We fought like a lot of teams to get him. Yeah. And I was just like, ooh, now he plays for Burnley.
Yeah. And that was all she wrote. The last thing I wanted to discuss, Mainu Bruno situation, because this is the most topical thing at the moment, and there was a couple of reports coming out before. One from Stephen Railsden that was saying Amorim's asking Bruno Fernandes to operate in a role that doesn't play to his strengths, and he's struggling with the nuances of the position. The problem is there isn't a perfect position for Bruno in Amorim's system. And Owen Hargreaves also said as well, how Kobbie Mainoo doesn't play in this team, I'll never know. He came on for that game versus Man City, and in half an hour, he was probably their best player by a country mile, which I thought was really interesting. Over the next few games, I'm probably going to know the answer, Aaron, but Mainoo has to start, doesn't he? Surely, given how he's been playing, just in comparison to the others.
Yeah, definitely. I think Bruno has got to go to the bench. If you're not going to put him in a 10, I think you have got to drop him. And do you know, it kills me to say that, because I know how much he does actually bring to the team, and that, and I know that, you know, he's not really performing in that position, but, you know, he's like one of the only ones in the team I feel that can produce something.
But not from that position where he's at.
No, that's what I mean. So it's like...
He's taking the ball off centre-backs. He's your best creative player in the league.
Yeah. But then it's like, you should have your best players. That's what it's hard, man. You should always have your best players on the pitch, but in this system, I don't feel you can't. Yeah, I think we've just got to make... You know, I'm all for making big calls and being ruthless and standing on what you believe in. So for me, if he's going to continue this system, if he's not going to change it, then, you know, he's got to find a way to get Mainoo in the team, because he's the only one really that carries the ball in the midfield. And, you know, he'll breeze past a few players. He'll like, you know, get like there'll be a gap and he'll like glide through and that, and he'll carry the ball, and, you know, no one else has got that. Casemiro ain't got the legs to do that. Ugarte's pants, and Bruno, you know, he's better going forward. So for me, you have to get Mainoo in the system. I think it's criminal that he doesn't even get a sniff, really.
Yeah, I agree. Will he though, Sam? That's the question. Yeah. And who would be the best partner for him in your mind?
Well, Bruno is a off-the-cuff player, isn't he? That's where he's at his best. Like one-touch flicks round the corner, like getting on the end of things and playing through balls and stuff like that. That is what he's good at. And when you're in the 8 position, you can't do that. Like, you just can't. Like, you have to be disciplined. You have to be like, put your foot on the ball and make sure like things are ticking over and be calm. That's not Bruno. Like, it's just not who he is. So like Aaron said, if you're not playing him in the 10, then he has to go on the bench, like, because he doesn't fit the system. I think there's a call to be made. I think Casemiro and Kobbie, I don't like it, because I think it, again, leaves us too exposed. I would love to see a midfield 3, but he's not going to do it. So I don't think there is a perfect choice in that mid. If you're going to do a 2, I think it has to be Casemiro. But
Ugarte's a 2. Say that much.
Yeah, like there isn't a way to make that midfield 2 work without buying 2 other midfielders, which we can't do till January anyway. So, but in the next 4 months, like, what are we supposed to do? So it's like, there isn't a perfect choice, really. Like, we should have bought a midfielder. I was saying it the entire summer. And then when it got towards the end, I was like, we're not buying one, are we? Like, I know we made a late gasp for Conor Gallagher on loan, like towards the end, which is Ed Woodward reminiscent, isn't it? Or John Murta with who was the striker in Serie A we went for? He's a bit fiery, and he used to play for West Ham. Yeah, that it stinks of that, doesn't it? That's the kind of thing he's going for. So I don't think there is a solution. I really don't. I just don't think with the players that we have, that midfield doesn't work. He has to change the system if he wants it to work.
Yeah, we can't play at the same time. It's impossible. It's going to have to be Bruno and Cass, unfortunately, as bad as that sounds. And if everyone's fit, I'm not playing Bruno over Mbeumo or Cunha. I'm not playing Bruno as a false 9 at all. So it's one of them ones where you know, he's backed us up into a situation where, you know, somebody's going to have to be sacrificed, and, you know, it's one or the other. The only issue I have with Kobbie, and I really like Kobbie, but in the system, the only issue I have with him is he doesn't seem to spread the ball the way Bruno and Cass do. If you notice against Arsenal, it was always Bruno to Mbeumo, or, you know, all those long passes, because
that's Amorim's system, though. Like,
that's Amorim's system, and Kobbie doesn't do that. And will hurt me if we lose Kobe to this, if he becomes a casualty of this system and we go somewhere else, and then we end up sacking Amorim, and then we're just left empty-handed. But yeah, that's where we are.
So as it stands right now, going into the Chelsea game and the other ones before another international break, do you think he will absolutely stick with this system until he gets sacked?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's undoubted.
Yeah.
Well, buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, because it's going to be another long season by the looks of things. I genuinely can't believe we're here again.
It's not.
Like,
it's not a matter of if he gets sacked. It's a matter of when. At this point, that's where we're at.
I think he'll turn it around. I think he'll pull it around.
I hope you're right.
You was one of the people in the crowd when you're singing Ruben Amorim. He'll bring the glory
we made a song for a guy before he even started.
Yeah.
This just shows you how emotional we are.
You can't say he hasn't been backed as well, but them away fans have been incredible supporting him.
Those guys who went to the fucking Grimsby game deserve a fucking refund. Petrol, for the tickets, for any food they bought, because fuck me, that team let them down that day.
And Grimsby is out of the way, like Hull.
It's in the middle of fucking nowhere.
It's out of the way. The train line ends there. There's no train that goes through it. End.
Just goes off a cliff, doesn't it, into the sea, just into the sea. Like.
No, literally it does. Because I went to Union Hall, so it ends right there. There's nothing. So if you're going there, you have to be very intentional with whatever reason you're going there for. Like it's so.
There's no reason to visit. You just the intention to go.
Yeah. Oh my God. Chelsea on Saturday, lads, at Old Trafford. I might actually go to that game and try bring some just to bring some luck. Because I'm undefeated.
Yeah, every time you go there,
we seem to win for whatever reason.
I think we're going to win that one. Trust me.
Well, Chelsea Saturday, we'll have the preview for that Thursday or Friday. We've got a few other shows that kind of filming over the next couple of days as well. So, it's been quite a few views in the chat, which is really nice to see. Appreciate all the opinions and getting involved. Please do leave a like on the video for us and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate Aaron's time, Chivi's time, and Sam's time. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Good luck for the season. See you